Delighted to have with us a big part of All Stars, and that's Crosscheck Clothing, and joined by Pete Weeks. Hi, Pete. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. How are you doing? All right.
Very good. Thanks for taking your time to speak about your role in All Stars, and that's where we'll start really, and how yourself and Crosscheck Clothing became involved with the All Stars weekend.
Our involvement with All Stars goes right the way back to 2014. There was a weekend event in Sheffield, and we'd only just really started up. And it's thanks to Richie Muzzy, who were a big part of the tournaments that were running in Sheffield. And he sort of invited us down and said, why don't you bring a stall and, maybe just give a percentage of your sales to All Stars and just come and see what it's all about. And we were already planning as a family on going to watch. So to take some stuff down, made sense. And straight away from offset, we felt really welcomed and part of the family. And the following year after that, we were involved with sponsoring prostate cancer. And captain that year were Lucas Howell, and he got us doing some merchandise for the team. And from there, it's just continued to grow year on year to, started off doing like the official event merchandise. And then a few years after that, we started doing, getting involved with the jerseys and more different aspects of teamwear and stuff like that for each of the teams.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get onto the jerseys in a minute, because that's something that I'm particularly keen to kind of get into more. But what was it that attracted? We've talked about the captains and some of the other people getting involved. What was it about the All Stars weekend that kind of got you and drew you in?
It was definitely the sort of like the family atmosphere about it all. The way that there's people in there that you only see once a year, but when you do see them, you felt like it's only a couple of days since you have seen them. And one of the things that sort of got me early on, where I mentioned about doing the prostate cancer t-shirts with Lucas Howell, we did them and it was fantastic. And about 2 weeks after the event, I got something in the mail, and it was actually one of the t-shirts that we'd supplied them, signed by everyone on the prostate cancer team that year. And I just thought, like, what an incredibly nice touch. Just they've just gone out and done that, obviously at the event, and sent it back to us. And, it really meant a lot. And that sort of thing has continued throughout. It's just that whole, like, everyone's in it together, the whole sort of like family vibe about All Stars, I think is one of the best things about it.
Yeah. And the last, obviously, I noticed the last year, I don't know how long you've been doing it, you're doing your own kind of fundraising, and there was kind of forfeits involved. How did that come about?
Yeah, I think like last year we decided that we'd try and up his game with our own sort of personal contribution to All Stars pot. Obviously, a lot about what we've done is supplying merchandise and running the merchandise side of things, which always generates a lot of money for All Stars. But we wondered whether or not we could potentially do something similar, but actually, by doing these forfeits. And see if we challenged ourselves to raise about £1,000 or something. And there were just stupid stuff, really. Like, one day we'd dress as superheroes. One day we'd dress like as if we were going to the beach. I think we gave away like 5 jerseys across the spell of the weekend through like a treasure hunt style thing. Each one will like tiered, depending on how much we raised. So we made like a stupid promotional video to like show the different levels that people could invest in what it'd, basically consequently what it'd do. And we raised, I think we raised about 750 quid or something like that, which for basically just turning up and, wearing Batman pajamas for a day and stuff like that were fantastic
But
as
you may
well.
have already done on a Saturday night, who knows?
I'm just glad that we didn't have to do the beach wear, because I didn't have the beach body at the time. So yeah, that were one of the ones that we put down as like the higher end of the scale. So, but I don't know what we hadn't sort of had a discussion about what we're going to do this year for his personal fundraising, but I'm sure there'll be something along that line as well, where there's a Just Giving set up, and we'll have a go at setting some stupid forfeits again, I think.
Yeah. And the So obviously the way it's set up for those who haven't been to Cardiff, the stalls in the bar, obviously got the charities, but you've got your stand there as well. So you've got a chance to, yes, yeah, you're selling your merch and the shirts and what have you, but you get a chance to see the people and see everybody who's involved. So it must be good for you to be physically there and part of the weekend that way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the bar's obviously a very popular place at All Stars weekend. So, but yeah, we get to see all the charities, and we often go round and have a word with them one to one, and drop a few quid in each of them's tin, and get some stickers, and just have a word about what they're doing and whatnot. And obviously all the players are coming through for their respective charities as well, and having photos and stuff. So it's always great to to see that, and see which players are playing for different teams than they were last year, and how their fundraising's gone and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I said definitely since we've come back from the thing that stopped everything for 2 years that we don't talk about anymore. Kind of getting everybody back in the arena, getting the charities there, getting yourselves there, getting the fans in, and just seeing people face to face has been huge, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I thought last year's event were a step up. To be honest, there were a hell of a lot more people there. The bar area were always busy, and I think people had really missed like that sort of side of hockey where they could come down and just chill out for a full day, and take it in and see the friends playing. And again, that's just what it's all about. There's just great groups of people, mingling together and having, a great time of it. And that's what makes the event so special.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. To say the short time I've been involved as well. We talked to the captains these last couple of weeks as well. The hockey is what brings everybody together, but at the same time, the hockey kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The camaraderie and the social aspect of it is just as important, really. And like I say, there's a lot of people who I would have, rely on that event as well, for their, own social well-being and stuff like that, to see those familiar faces and have that event in the calendar as something to look forward to. So
Mm.
fantastic that after we got through the event that we should speak about, that it was able to come back as quickly, as it did, and like credit to the committee and stuff for making that happen.
Yeah, no, it is. It's fantastic. So it would be remiss talking to Crosscheck Clothing not to talk about clothing. And this is where we get all Greg Wallace and inside the factory. So can you kind of take? I'm not wearing a hairnet, mine. Can you take us? Can you take us into the process? And because obviously we've seen the jerseys have just come out as we're recording. The final jerseys just came out yesterday, and they're absolutely fantastic once again. I'd say so. From my question is how does the process start of designing 8 jerseys, which have to be kind of on the ice at the same time? So there's color clashes, there's kind of issues like that. So how does the process start for yourselves?
um, well, thankfully this year we've had an early start. I think for the last couple of years, things started a little bit late on, and this year, myself and Ryan, who's responsible for a lot of jersey designing, we said, we'd like, as soon as the captains are announced, to be able to start the conversations with them regards what they want to do,
Yeah.
because it is a long process. Each captain has got their own idea of what they want, and we're sort of there left to sort of basically fill in the blanks. Obviously, it helps that each charity has got it's sort of defined by its own colour. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got like British Heart Foundation are always red, Dreams are always purple and orange. We know that Barbarians will play in black. So those standoff colours start off, and the only really clash that we've had over years is like Prostate Cancer and Mind, who both wear blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, the design process really is a mixture of the ideas that potentially we've had, and then the sort of inspirations that the captains throw in from what potentially they've seen around and about. So someone might say, I think one of the jerseys this year is quite heavily inspired by a ECHL one-off jersey that I think it was Orlando did. That's been sort of like copied a little bit into Dreams Come True, and then certain other ones might be from Stadium Series NHL jerseys or retro jerseys that people have seen and said, "Can you sort of copy that or whatever?" And then one of the hardest things, to be honest, about it is you create this like wonderful looking jersey, and then you remember that because it's a charity event and we need all the help that we can get, then you've got to cover the whole thing in sponsor logos and everything like that. So you've got this sort of like really clean looking like masterpiece sort of thing.
Yeah,
But obviously, like I say, without the charities, without the sponsors, you know, there won't be an event. So we get them as many as we can over them and stuff like that. So sometimes, in essence, the actual jersey underneath can be quite basic once you've covered it in sponsors. In the past, the committee has sort of asked us to do all the jerseys the same style,
mhm,
um, which we have done, and just like basically the colorways changed. But this year, all the jerseys are different and unique. So that looks like the way they're going this year. Whether or not that'll stay, I don't know, because there's often talk about wanting to do them all the same, like an NHL style jersey, where there's basically just the arm trims and like a lower waist, which is the contrast colours.
right.
But this year, like I say, there's been a little bit more freedom into it and a lot more flexibility, and everyone who's sort of chipped in and contributed has come up with some great ideas. And like I says, it's credit to Ryan, who does graphics and arts at Crosscheck and stuff, who's managed to tunnel all that into the final pieces.
Yeah. Have you got a? Are you allowed to say? Have you got a favorite of this year's, or have you got a favorite that you've designed in the?
Uh, yeah, I do like Dreams Come True. I love the purple and the orange. I think that always is a color that always stands out and looks nice. This year, I think Barbarians looks good. They've got some really nice touches, and Breast Cancer now have got a brand new fresh drawn logo, and
Mhm.
that looks pretty good as well. So there's um, there's certainly some good jerseys out there for people to pick up if they're coming down to event and want to wear some colours.
Yeah, I like the. I say I've got the Barbars one from last year,
Yeah, yeah,
and I've seen the one they say with the all the different the runes around it, and um,
yeah, yeah,
that looks really. It does look really smart. I mean, I'm historically I do like black and dark jerseys anyway. It's kind of the I don't know what it is. It's just my thing, I suppose. But the Barbars did kind of pull me in. But yeah, we're talking to G. He said that, yeah, the Orlando the tie dye one that looks really good.
yeah.
And T Haven as well. Their departure from the white to the to kind of the grey with the luminous green, which I think looks really
Yeah, I
smart.
mean that's another one that I like as well. We're doing some merchandise, off ice merchandise for TFN, and the way that those colours lay down is it's beautiful to see. And when you get some freedom to sort of produce merchandise for them with the grey and the white and the green is just it's brilliant. It's something that you really enjoy working on.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic. We'll obviously when the people can purchase the jerseys, obviously we'll advertise that and we'll encourage people to buy one for each day of the week. Just buy them all and wear them differently, whatever they
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to do. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and all the profits from jerseys go straight to fundraising. So not only are you getting yourself a decent jersey, but obviously as well you're supporting the event. So the more we sell, the better.
yeah. If it's one of the questions we asked the captains, if people are listening to these interviews and do have a mind to come and join us in Cardiff in the end of July, what would you say to somebody who was kind of sitting on the fence to kind of push them over the edge and get them to come down?
Just do it. Just come down, whether or not you're on your own or whether or not you're trying to convince a group of friends. Just come down. There'll be a stack of people around who will more than welcome you into their little social bubble, and just come down and enjoy it. That's all. Experience it and enjoy it. And one day it might be you want ice. If like Crosscheck, we came down and did very little to start with, but a few years later we were fully involved and hooked with it. And that's what we'd say to anyone really is just take a chance, get yourself down.
Yeah, and once you're in, and all stars just
Yeah, yeah,
go.
definitely. And it's a one for calendar year after year, definitely.
Excellent. Well, it's been great catching up, Pete. Great
Thanks a lot.
work from yourself and everyone at CrossCheck. Look forward to see the jerseys in the flesh in Cardiff. As a reminder, people, it's Vindico Arena, 29th and 30th of July. CrossCheck Clothing online. We'll get the links out when the shirts are on sale. But appreciate your time as always, and we look forward to seeing you in
Thank
Cardiff.
you. Thank you very much. See you in Cardiff.